going on, everybody? Happy Saturday. Episode number 2 of podcast with Paul from Freight Caviar, founder and CEO of Freight Caviar. I'm going to talk to us today about how Freight Caviar kind of came to be and his journey, in starting it. Let's get started. What's going on, Paul?
Hey, Alex. How's my connection? Can you hear me well?
Yeah, I can hear you, man. Looks like a beautiful sunny day out there.
Yeah, it's a nice day out here. I'm in like the spotty area of white internet. It's about to get better. I just need like 30 seconds.
Yeah, no worries, man.
I hope that's okay. Okay.
I'm happy you're able to be
today,
outside
Alex?
enjoying the weather.
Yeah, dude. I actually, it's funny. It's like I started listening to Tim Ferriss podcast. You know who Tim Ferriss is?
Honestly, I can't say that I do.
Okay, he's like this guy from Austin, like the 4 Hour Work Week. He's got like a podcast where he interviews like the smartest and most brilliant people. And I was listening to a few episodes this week, and he started doing this new thing called Walk and Talk podcast. He wants to promote like well-being, and to do that, he just goes on a walk and like talks. So yeah.
Should have just called it Walkie Talkie at that point, man.
Walkie Talkie. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. But yeah, beautiful day here in Poland. A nice walk, drinking some coconut water. There we go. Life is good, man. Life is good. How are you, Alex?
Life is always good when the sun's out, man. That's when life is good. I'm good, man. I'm getting ready to move. Move into the village tomorrow, and I'll be enjoying some nice nature, so some nice hills, some nice trees. I'll really be enjoying the nature out there.
How far away is that from where you are right now?
I don't know, like 80 kilometers, or for Americans, 50 miles, 60 miles, something. Not far. But anyways, your connection looks good now, man. You're not blurry. I can hear you perfectly.
Yeah.
It's
getting better. There's like that one spot that was really bad. But yeah, we're good now. We're good to go.
So I guess you walk there a lot if you know exactly where your internet's going to go down.
Dude, I've walked there many times, and like I've had conversations, and it's always that one spot that just is like so tough. But yeah, we're good to go.
Let's get into it, man. How did you get into logistics? Where did you get your start?
Dude, so back in 2015, I was a senior in at University of Illinois, Urbana-Champaign, UIUC. So graduated with a psychology degree, and I was like, okay, I could either go do my master's, which would cost like, I don't know, $80,000, for a year to do my master's, and I have to like be stuck in school. I wasn't like the greatest student. I don't know. I've always been kind of like ADD, kind of like, that wasn't kind of my thing. It was like, I liked it. I just had problems focusing. So my fraternity brother, like I was at career fair at UIUC, like last couple of months, trying to get a job. And I run into my fraternity brother, and he was there with with a company called Trek Freight Services. And like, he was like, yo, Paul, you should learn more about Trek, and I'm like, all right, like, hey, I'm interested, and the interview was so bad. I had a job interview. I was so anxious. I had such bad anxiety. And it was like, just because he was my fraternity brother, I got like a job really easily. So I got the job at Trek. They had really good training. Didn't pay a lot though. So I ended up being there for a year, great training. And I honestly left, and I was like, I'm never going to go back into logistics again.
What was your position over there? You're doing, I think, carrier sales.
I was just carrier sales rep. I was a junior carrier sales rep. So like,
there you go.
Yeah, like it was honestly like, I was good at it though, because I was the only one that spoke Polish in the whole office, and there's like all these Polish companies in Chicago, and they're literally all my like carriers, so yeah. I built up like a good reputation over the year, just like being a Polish guy.
Speaking two languages always helps in business. You always find a way to make it work.
100%, especially like with like languages that are like common in trucking, Polish, Russian, Serbian, Ukrainian, Spanish. Spanish. Yeah, like literally like these languages like are so useful. But yeah, so I left after a year. I had $5,000 saved up. I was like almost 23, like on the verge between 22 and 23. And my dad worked for this airline called Eva Air out of Chicago. And like the job wasn't that great, but like the great benefit of it was that like, you would have like really cheap flying tickets. So like until the age of 24, I had like really cheap flying tickets. So I could fly to Poland round trip from Chicago for $250. I had free tickets to Asia every year. Like it was like,
Wow.
honestly, I was like, but it was until I was 24, and I was like, okay, I have like basically a year left of these tickets. I have $5,000 in my bank account. I'm like, I'm just gonna go travel. So I just traveled for literally like half a year. All I did was just backpack around like Europe, Asia, like India. Like it was just wild. Like, and then
You
I
had
came
any
home.
way to make income throughout that, or you were just that 5 grand
So
stretched for 12 months?
so I made a couple grand driving for Uber. Like it was like I came home for like a few weeks in October of 2016. I came home to Chicago, and that was literally the month where the Chicago Cubs won the World Series for like the first time in like 100 years.
Yeah, I
And dude,
remember that.
Uber rates were like off the charts. Uber was still paying like a lot back then because like they were still like trying to take over the market. Like I was getting paid like $35 an hour driving an Uber.
Yeah.
Like it was chill. It was chill. So I did that for a little bit, and then I literally come home in January of 2017, and I had like $30 in my bank account. And I'm like, crap. Like I wasn't planning on going back into logistics, but this girl I used to work with at Trek, she actually was starting. She started a job at CS Recruiting, which if you don't, do you know CS Recruiting, Alex?
Nah, man, not familiar.
By the way, how's my connection? Is it good?
Yeah, you're okay. Nothing we
Still
can't
okay.
fix
Okay.
in post. Don't worry about it.
Okay. So CS Recruiting is a recruiting company. So like if you're a broker, like this, they're huge in Chicago. Charlie Safro started the company. You should
Oh,
actually
okay.
interview
I
with her.
know her
She's
name.
great.
Yeah, I know who that is.
Yeah. So that's CS Recruiting. Yeah. Here, I'm gonna move back a little bit so the connection gets a little better. But overall, like I ended up reaching out to Arbella over there, who was like this girl I worked with at Trek. And I was like, hey, listen, like I need to get a job in logistics. I know you told me before that if I needed a job, you could hook it up. And like she got me 4 interviews in 1 week. I'm like, oh, okay,
Yeah.
this is pretty cool. Like I got 4 interviews, and then after all 4 interviews, I had 4 job offers. I'm like, wow, that's pretty cool. I had 4 job offers, and like there was like 2 companies that interested me. I forgot the one name. Another one was Everest, and honestly, like I just like Everest was like the coolest company out of all of them. There was like only 7 guys in like one like small office in Evanston, just like hustling. It was like everything else was so corporate. They were just like really chill. And I'm like, all
Yeah,
right,
I
yeah.
agree
And
with
I'm
that,
like,
man. Like trucking, the reason I love this industry is that like it shouldn't be so corporate. Like I
yeah,
love those smaller operations where it's like you're chilling with your boys, you're pushing freight, you're having
100%.
fun.
Yeah,
I mean,
totally. Yeah, no, and like honestly, I loved working at Everest. It was like so cool because like it was just like us like having fun, like at office. It was like a lot of work, but we were just like, joking around. Like
yeah,
there's
it's
no
tons of
corporate
work, but
structure.
it's like you can
Yeah,
swear, you can joke around. The
yeah. There
drivers, you
was
can
no,
joke with them.
yeah,
Like,
there was no HR, and there was actually like, I mean, it was just all guys. So like it was just like a locker room basically, like locker room talk. But it was cool, and like, but we ended up growing really fast. Cause like when I was there, I was like the first carrier sales rep besides like one of the owners who was like booking freight. And I just like quickly like the market. This was January 2017, and I know like during an interview, like one of the co-founders, Lev, he was like they already had like 2 people in Ukraine like doing some tracking and stuff, and like I kind of told them like it'd be cool, like I would love to like go to Poland and like open up an office with them, and like Lev was like all about like opening up an office in Ukraine, and I
yeah,
was like,
see, so we had like talked about this when we were chilling together in Serbia,
yeah,
where like you were interested to go out of the country and work. But
yeah,
what you told me just now, I didn't know that you were traveling for that year on cheap
yeah,
flights. So you already love
yeah.
traveling. You're about it. You're like, I'm
Oh
leaving.
yeah,
I'm leaving America. I want to go work somewhere.
yeah. So like I was traveling extensively like my whole life because my dad's tickets like they were cheap, so like they just like we were able to travel so much. Like even though like we didn't like have like actually like any money, we just like always had money for travel. It was kind of funny.
Yeah,
Um,
dude. I mean, I feel that.
yeah,
Like when I moved to
yeah,
Europe, man, like traveling is so much cheaper. Like I went to Barcelona for like $100 round trip, and it's
yeah,
like, dude, at those prices, you have to do it.
yeah. No, totally. And like I learned a lot, I think, via travel, and like it's just cool to see new cultures. Like when I visited you in Serbia, like that was like like it was cool like to see a new country, meet new people, like experience that because like you just have it in the back of your mind. Like it's like how is that place actually? Like you
Yeah, but
I
see,
gotta
that's
go
the thing
visit.
with travel I've learned, like, because I've been to, I don't know, 5, 6 countries, and I'd say half of them I had a local connection there, and that was the
Sure.
best. But when you travel as a proper tourist, like, I don't know, you don't get like the right feel for the place.
Yeah. Yeah, no, 100%. I
So you
agree.
went over to Everest in Ukraine. They
Yeah.
offered you the offer. You went out to
Well,
Ukraine.
so I first, well, it was funny because like Lev was like all about Ukraine, but like Jake and Phil, the other founders, like they were kind of more like hesitant about like they had a few people, um, in like Ukraine like working from home, but they didn't like really want to open up an office there, and like so I started just working out of Evanston, Illinois. I was working out of like the Chicago office, just north of Chicago, and then like that was January, and then I know like in July, like one day after work, like Lev called me. He's like, Paul, like, yo, do you want to move to Ukraine? I was like right away. I was like, yes, like send me, like I'm like down to move like right now, and I couldn't like wait. And it was funny because then I go back to the office and it was like my birthday, and the guys like took me out for dinner, and like I was like, well, I went with Jake and Phil for dinner, not Lev, and I was like, yo guys, so am I like moving to Ukraine? And they like both laughed and like they're like, nope, like you're not moving to Ukraine, like we're gonna stay right here. And I'm like, oh damn. And then like you could just tell like Lev was like, Paul, like don't worry about it, like I'll take care of it. Like like you're gonna move to Ukraine and open up this office for us. And I'm like, all right, whatever, like I guess. And like I remember like it was November, yeah, November 10th, 2017, I took a flight to Ukraine and I moved. And I moved to Ukraine. And honestly, like I just fell in love with the place. I'm like, this place is sweet. Like, I don't know, it's like cheap, but at the same time, like it's safe. And like I went from living in a 2-bedroom house or apartment condo with 6 people in it to living like a king in Ukraine overnight. It was like the most
Yeah.
remarkable thing I've ever experienced in my life. Like
Yeah, I
I
had the
never
same thing in Serbia, man. Like I went
Mhm.
from being with roommates, you have to have
Yeah,
roommates, and then I came
yeah,
here and I was like, I had this huge apartment and it was mine and nobody lived with me.
yeah,
I was like, this is insane. This is like so nice to have your own
dude.
spot.
Literally, like it's awesome. Like and that's probably one of the reasons why like I really liked it. But at the same time, like I was close to Poland, and so to come out to Poland, I have like friends and family here, and like I was like I've always wanted to like just spend more time here. That was like the main reason why I was like down to
I
move to
mean,
Ukraine. And
what was your day-to-day life, in the Everest office? Were you booking freight? Were you just
yeah,
managing people?
so in the beginning was a ton of booking, like because I moved in like a busy market, and we only had like a few people in Ukraine. Like we were like nonstop hustling, like on the phone, like just like booking, like, and there was like rippers, dude. We were making like so much money on these loads. This is awesome. um, and then and then obviously we grew out of that, and like I became more of a manager because like I was just like hiring people, interviewing people, like getting up to speed. Like my day to day life was like I liked it a lot back then. I mean, it was work was from 3 p.m. to midnight, and usually like it went to like 1 a.m. So I'd go to sleep like at 2 a.m. I would wake up like at 9 a.m. I would like go to the gym, like eat something, like read a book, listen to a podcast, and then like go to the office at 3 p.m. like book freight. So it was like I don't know, like a chill lifestyle, like
Yeah, I
really
mean,
like
how do you like that? Because honestly, I love starting work at 2, 3 in the afternoon. I don't care how late I have to work, though. I love not having to wake up at 6 a.m. and just start
yeah.
grinding at 7, I love that.
So so I loved it until like a year ago, and then I'm like, I absolutely hate it. I don't know. Like I went from like loving to hating it. I think it's mostly because like, well, my fiance like she like works regular hours here in Poland, so it's like we never
Yeah.
see like I just be like kind of working in the evening, and like also like I don't know, like I'm always the most productive mentally like in the morning if I have to do like some like actual work. Um, like
Actual work.
you know, like in the sense of like actually like if I sit down in the morning, I'm so much more efficient and productive than like waiting until 3 p.m. Like 3 p.m. I'm like, damn, I kind of want to like go home and like chill. So I used to like it a lot. I loved it. I actually like not waking up with an alarm clock is like the best feeling in the world. But at the
Dude.
same time, like I mean nowadays like I try to wake up like around 7 or 8 and like hit the gym and then like work and then I try to take like I try to be done like at 7 p.m. nowadays and like kind of
Yeah,
chill for the
dude.
stuff.
I mean,
So
I'm struggling with that whole waking up thing with the schedule. Like, I start work around 2. I mean, because of this daylight savings around 1.
yeah.
I'll
Yeah.
finish around midnight, and then I'll play like games or watch movies till 2, 3 in the morning, 4, 5. Like, bro, I can't wake
Yeah.
up before 10, 11. No way. But I mean, I gotta work on that.
Yeah,
But I mean, how was your time in Ukraine? You said you loved it, this and that. Like,
dude.
did you have to adjust at all? Like, living in like a poorer country, for lack of a better words.
I
Like
mean,
was
I
there
spent a
a
lot of
culture shock? Like, you didn't speak the language. Like, how was that? Like,
it wasn't that bad because like I spent a lot of time in Poland growing up. Like I spent all my summers in Poland. Like I literally like spent so much time here that like Ukraine for me like felt like it was Poland but like 20 years ago. So and like culturally speaking like very like culturally like similar like language wise like also pretty similar like so like it like it felt different, but like I liked it. I liked the novelty of it. It was like I go on
Yeah.
a walk and I'm like I don't even know where I'm at, but this is pretty cool. Like and there's like there's so many contrasts in Ukraine, like because like there's all these oligarchs that are super wealthy, at least in Kiev, like this was, and then like you have like a much poorer like class, and you have like a small medium class. But like what always like surprised me was like there's so many amazing restaurants in Kiev. Like wow, like the restaurants were
Yeah,
so
yeah. I
great,
used to work with a lot of Ukrainians. They have nice food, man.
dude. It was like it was amazing just to like be able to go out like every day because I used to like just eat Chipotle all the time in America, and now I was like eating like nice like food, like you know, it was only like $10 too, so it wasn't like even expensive. So like that was definitely sweet. I went to like the nicest gym in Kiev, like it was literally where like all the oligarchs went, and it was kind of badass because like I had a trainer there, and just like give someone perspective like on the cost there, like it wasn't that cheap. It was like $30 for one training, US, and like if you wanted to go there one time, like my boss would sometimes come with me, it'd be $40 per visit. Like so, it was like an
Oh,
expensive place, dude.
yo, dude, that's like expensive in North
Dude,
America, bro.
dude, I know. Like you'd have people pulling up with two bodyguards and like walking with them, like there and like the thing is like I would always just kind of like be focused on myself, like whatever. I mean, like focus, like I wouldn't like really care about like who's around. Like there'd be like all these models or like just really rich dudes like walking around like bodyguards and all this stuff, and like it was just such a cool place though because it was like so like
But
luxurious
what
and
was
like there
the
was
monthly fee? Like, what did you? What was that a couple
a
hundred
cool
bucks?
year. I paid yearly, I think $1,100 or $1,200. So
Holy
but it was
shit!
so it was $100 a year, $100 a month. Sorry, $100 a
Eh,
month, which
Yeah, I
is
mean,
like
but by Ukraine standards, that's
by
wild. Like,
by Ukraine standards it was expensive
like
and
in
like
Serbia, dude,
dude,
I could go to the most expensive gym in Serbia. It's like $50 a month, maybe 40
yeah,
bucks. Like, you
dude,
could go
it
to a
was
normal one, it's like $20 for a
yeah.
month, dude.
I mean, it was a really nice gym, and like a lot of famous people went there, like Ukrainian famous people, and like or oligarchs, and like, dude, it was crazy. Like one time, I was like people would greet each other, like you know, I'm not sure if in Serbia if you go up and like shake people's hands at the gym, like sometimes in Poland they do that, and like usually at smaller like places, like where there's not that many people, you kind of like just shake your hand, and like there'd be this guy that like always like come and like shake his hand with his two bodyguards, he had two bodyguards, and like he'd go around the gym, like there'd be like 10 people, maybe 8 people in the gym, and like he'd shake all the guys' hands, and like and then like one day I'm on Facebook like after work, like during work, and I just see like someone like posted a meme of this guy on Facebook. I'm like I asked the girl that's sitting next to me like doing like partial shipments. I'm like Anastasia, like who is this guy? Like, this guy goes to my gym. Like who is this guy? And like this guy's like some I forgot Sergey Tahipko. And like if you Google him, like he's a huge oligarch, and he was in the news because Zelensky was about to make him the prime minister, but because he had ties to the former government of Ukraine, there's like a ban on like
Yeah, like
allowing
conflict
those.
of interest for government role. Yeah.
Yeah, so like he was like all over the news in Ukraine that week, and the next day, literally after I find out who this guy is, it's just me and him in the sauna together, like it's just me and him chilling, like no one else, and like he starts speaking to me in Russian, and I'm like, I told him I don't really speak that well Russian, but like I speak Polish, and I don't know, it was just kind of like it was like a crazy like you know like I don't know like place to be in, you know, like some things I would never experience in Chicago.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. People don't really understand. A lot of people get a lot of hate for outsourcing and this and that. It's like, man, these people have never really, like most Americans, most Canadians, they don't have passports even, bro. These people are not traveling. Like when I
Yeah,
came to Serbia, I had a plan to be here for 30 days. And on my second day, I called back. I quit my job. I was like, I'm never going back. Like once you come out to these countries, you see life is so different when you travel, man. When you go to different countries, like it's such a different vibe. You learn
for sure.
so much from people. Like you get like different perspectives. Because out here in Serbia, especially, like work is not first. Work is like definitely it's not taken first. First
Yeah,
is like your personal time, your family time, relaxing, enjoying yourself. That's first. Like, and in North America, bro, I don't know, that's like last, bro. Like
yeah,
we all put money, we all put work, build your future, buy a house. Like that's all first for us. And when you
for
come out
sure.
to these countries, they'll like show you like, yo, just like take a breath, let's have a coffee. You kind of you learn a lot that way.
For sure.
And
Totally. I agree.
let's see, how did you start Freight Caviar? Like, where did the idea come from? What was your vision for it? Like, or
Dude,
did you just kind of start it for fun and it just kind of snowballed, or what?
uh, that's a good question. So, okay, I worked at Everest for 3 years, and like during like working at Everest, like we used to like follow like the attention denied, I hate freight, USA Transportation. Like we'd always just be laughing at in the office because it's like all these situations are so true, and like
Yeah.
honestly, like, dude, I got like during like the pandemic, I got like a knee injury, and during the time I tore my ACL. I tore my ACL when I was visiting Poland for the weekend, and I ended up staying here for like 2 weeks because I couldn't move. And honestly, like I started thinking there's actually more to the story that I don't like feel like disclosing publicly, but at the end of the day, like I quit. There's a few reasons behind that. I just kind of like honestly like didn't like it anymore. That was like the main reason. I was like,
Yeah.
dude, like we're booking like over 200 loads a day. We have like all these people. I just was like you know how the market in April of 2020. Oh, you didn't work in April 2020. The market in April 2020 was like the easiest market of all time. Like literally, you post a load and like your phone blows up like insane, and like loads were going for like the cheapest rates imaginable. Like it was insane. And then like like we
I mean,
went
it
back
just
from like
sounds like today's market, bro.
dude, nothing compares to April 2020. I can imagine that. Like I mean I can't. I don't even know. I guess because I don't look at the market, but like, April 2020, dude, everything was shut down. For like everything, just like everyone started closing everything because of the pandemic.
Yeah.
And then, dude, like June, I remember. I went to May to Odessa, Ukraine. I was working from home from there. It was like sweet. I loved it. And then like then the market got really hot, like really fast. And honestly, like I was like, dude, I had a decent amount of money saved up, and I was like, where do I see myself in a few years? And I'm like, I don't really want to like be doing this anymore. So I quit. Well, I actually quit, and I started my own brokerage. I also opened my own restaurant. I was like all over the place. And in the meantime,
You opened your own restaurant.
yeah, that's where I met Derek. I met Derek at the restaurant.
Yo, don't kill me. Wait a minute. What country you were in Poland at this point?
I opened it here in Lublin, Poland. Yeah, like
So
it's actually
what kind of? We didn't talk about this. I spent 4 days. I never heard this. Let's just put a sidebar in the Freight Caviar story.
yeah.
What made you think I'm ready? I know how to start a restaurant. And what kind of food? Like, how did
So
you get into a
it
restaurant?
was American burgers and pizza. And like
Okay.
I have a friend out here in Poland that I've known him for years, and we kind of like a few months before I moved here, we kind of discussed like opening up a restaurant where like I could like kind of like fund it and he could run it. And like we both didn't have experience running restaurants. Like he did a great job of marketing and like putting the whole team in place. But dude, dealing with like restaurants, like having a restaurant is like the most difficult business you could possibly have.
No,
Like
I know, man. Like the
it's the
margins are
worst.
so thin. You got to pay
Dude,
vendor. It's so much more
it's
work than people
terrible.
think it is.
It's the worst job in the world. And I literally we were like known to have the best burgers in town. Like it was funny, dude. I was getting a haircut yesterday, and the guy next to me, like he recently found out like I was the owner of that place. And he was like, "Dude, get out of here. We are just talking about you like last week. My client came here to get a haircut, and I was telling him like it sucks how like the bungers like shut down. Like they had the best burgers in town." And this guy like was my friend. He's like, "Dude, I know the guy who opened it." And then like my barber was like, "Dude, that's my client." It was just kind of funny. And yesterday, like the whole time I was getting a haircut, they were literally telling me about how much they love that place, and like they're
Yeah, but
so
it's
upset.
so jokes to me because when I came out here, like I'm from Canada, like from Toronto, man. We have every food in the world. Like everyone from every country lives in Canada. They bring their food. They start restaurants. I came out here, I started missing a bunch of food, man. And I thought the first thing I thought when I came here before I stepped into logistics full time, I was like in between jobs because I couldn't be a plumber, and I was like, I'm gonna open like a poutine restaurant, man, because like I miss poutine so much. Nobody even knows what
So
gravy
Canadian.
is. Yo, people don't even know what gravy is over here. I was like, dude, I could kill it with a poutine restaurant. But then the reality set in before I ventured into it of like, yeah, owning a restaurant and running a restaurant is not as easy as just cooking food and selling it to people. So I didn't hit that venture.
Yeah, it's crazy. Like that's how I met Derek, because Derek was a delivery driver at a restaurant, and he would make videos for us sometimes because like he would have like a camera and like he would do like
delivery
videos
driver for you or just like for an app that like was there
for us.
Nice.
Like,
Yeah,
we had our own car. We had our own cars and stuff like that. Like I bought cars for the restaurant. I put like so much money into that. It was stupid. But you learn, you live and you learn. But
hey, you mind if I rip a cig?
Dude, not at all. Like smoke as many cigs as you want, dude. That's awesome. That's pretty cool.
I'm just sitting here. I'm like, man, I got to take full advantage of the Serbian cigarette smoking. And
I love it. I wish I had a cigarette I could smoke.
But all right, man. So restaurant didn't work out.
Restaurant didn't work out. Yeah. I got Derek though. There's a funny story behind because I didn't.
Just for people who are watching this or who watches back, Derek is like Freight Caviar, Paul's like cameraman. He's a great guy, funny guy.
He was in Serbia with me and Alex last week, so like Alex knows him very well. So Dude, it was fun. It was a funny story with Derek though, because like I like didn't really know it. Like we had like 15 people like working in and out at the restaurant, like you know different shifts and stuff. And I didn't really know like a lot of people. I just like my business partner kind of like took care of all that. I just kind of like the person that was funding it all, and like it was funny because like I wanted to go to Armenia to visit some like double brokerages and like do like a documentary about it. And so I go up to Derek. I'm like, yo, Derek, like, hey, nice to meet you. Like, would you want to go to Armenia like with me like in like a week or so? Like you were gonna film some good content out there. And like Derek's never been on a plane before. Ever in his life, he's never been on a plane. He's like, oh wow, that's awesome. Like, yeah, I'd love to go to Armenia. You know, like, and so we go to like we get in the car and like we're on the way. And I'm like, Derek, you know, like I don't think we're gonna get in trouble or anything. Like but like just we're gonna be visiting like you know double brokerages like and like filming content with like kind of shady people. Like you know, it's like we'll see how it goes.
Well, I
And
mean, let's just quote it. You're visiting double brokers. That's like the most shady people. Like they're literally doing
dude,
illegal things, bro.
yeah. Well, it was kind of crazy because like I landed in Armenia and I got like blown up on Instagram because we have like 6% of our following is like 70% of our audience is American based for Freight Caviar on Instagram. 6% is Armenia and then 5% is Serbia. So it's like right next to each other. And I literally like get blown up with the people like wanting to hang out with us. We ended up like hanging out with these like double brokers when we went to this office, and then like 6 Armenian like dudes, big dudes, just stormed the building, and like Derek's like there, and I'm like, damn, I feel really bad because Derek was literally like I put him in a bad position, but we got out of the situation pretty well. Our content got deleted. I'm not gonna talk about that right now publicly,
Well, I
but
mean, just for reference, you're like 7 feet tall, so at least Derek had some form of backup in that situation that
dude,
you
there was
put him
6 of
into.
them. There was 6 like dudes that were just like big dudes. But besides the point, I mean, I don't think they would touch us because we were American, and like you know. But okay, besides that, yeah, Derek came out of the restaurant, started doing some like videography work for us. We shut down the restaurant,
No, we skipped
and
the
then
point. We skipped the main point here. How, like, what day did you start Freight Caviar? What day, like, did you start Freight Caviar while you were in Everest, like on the side, or did you
I
just back?
literally I started it the day after I quit Everest.
Ah,
Literally
okay.
the day after.
So you literally quit and said, "I'm just gonna do this Freight Caviar thing and
It
hope it
was
works out."
it was no, it was the most random thing in the world. So like I literally quit Everest and I go to the gym. And this was right after I had like surgery on my knee, so like I could like only do like upper body. And like literally like, I don't know, I remember the moment vividly. I was like working on my triceps and I'm like, fuck, I'm gonna create an Instagram account like right now, and I'm gonna like name it Shipping Pallets, and I'm gonna start posting like stupid content about freight. Literally, that was like my mindset. That was like my mentality. And I literally get into the taxi to go back home after the gym. I create the account and I start posting like the most like stupid like memes. I've deleted them all. And like if you're
I deleted them all.
dude, they're so bad. They're so bad. But like I literally I in the meantime of starting that Instagram account, I open a brokerage. And then I open a second brokerage because I had another business partner that wanted a brokerage. I was just like all over the place. And so I legally owned like 2 brokerages. One ended up getting closed like within a few months. And then the second one, like we both like parted ways. And like I was just kind of like I have like ADD and like I kind of like am kind of working on getting that like
So at
fixed
this
right now.
point, you had a restaurant, 2 brokerages, and Freight Caviar was just kind of, or I guess Shipping
Freight
Pallets
Caviar,
at this point.
and I was also an agent for a company out of Texas. So it was a wild time. Like I literally, dude, I had quit the brokerage at Everest, and I like thought like, oh, I could do whatever I want. I could have like 4 companies, and I could just have like different business partners, and I could just do like all this
But you
crazy
were
shit,
living
right?
in Ukraine during all of this.
I moved. I moved in November. I moved November 1st, 2020. So I was in Ukraine for 3 weeks. After I quit Everest and started shipping pallets Freight Caviar, and then November 1st I moved to Poland.
Oh, okay.
So
So your cost of living was super cheap. You had some money saved. You're like, oh, I'm gonna just pursue all of these
dude,
ideas in my head and just
yeah,
started going
literally,
crazy.
dude, I had like a whiteboard with like my 4 companies listed. I'm like, what I have to do for all these 4 companies, and it's like, dude, literally, like it's kind of crazy because I actually met with like a psychologist this week, and I'm like, in hindsight, I'm like thinking, I'm like, dude, I was like kind of crazy, you know, like
Yeah,
what the
this
who
story
does
sounds
that?
insane. Like, I
Who
got this
does
money
that?
saved. I got no
But
cost of living. I'm just
dude,
gonna start doing all of these things at once. Like,
yeah, it's honestly like I've had untreated like ADHD my whole entire life. Like, I think that it got to a point where like it affected like obviously like my business relationships, my like personal relationships, and like I was just all over the place, like, and it was definitely difficult for me to like stay like focused on something. But it's kind of crazy at the same time. It's kind of cool. Like all those four companies like don't exist anymore. But
Yeah.
like somehow Freight, like, because all I spent my time on, I was procrastinating on everything. All I spent my time on was on Freight Caviar. I wouldn't do anything besides Freight Caviar.
Yeah, just making
Like
jokes, making memes, like.
besides the bare minimum. It was really like, and it was kind of crazy. And then like after a while, it built up an audience, and
At
then
what
people wanted.
point did you say like Freight Caviar, this is what I'm gonna do full time? Like,
So in December of 2021, no, November 2021, I had second surgery on my knee, and afterwards I was just laying in bed again. Like, dude, having knee surgery is like the worst. Like, oh my goodness, you're just like in bed all day thinking, and you're just in pain the
yeah,
whole time. And I'm like thinking, I'm like, like I hate having this brokerage. We had like a couple customers. Honestly, I hate it. Like, I absolutely hated it. I'm like, this sucks. Like, I can't imagine doing this any longer. And then I'm like, you know what, Freight Caviar is kind of taking off. Like, I just need like a little bit more. Like, I just need to be more focused on it, and I can
you know
make a
what's
living
funny
off of
with the
it.
backstory of that timing is that November 2021 is right when I got it fully into logistics. Like it wasn't like a
Okay.
side thing; it was a full
Yeah.
time thing.
Yeah.
And November 1st, 2021 was my first day of full time working in logistics. And the
Oh
first
wow.
thing that they told me when I sat in that office was like, "Oh, bro, you got to follow Free Caviar." And that was like right around the time where you were about to start taking it serious. But you see, at that point, like people in Serbia already knew, everyone knew who you were. So at that
Yeah.
point, you had already amassed the following because November
Yeah.
2021, I had 30 people in Serbia telling me to follow Freight Caviar. So
That's awesome. It's crazy because like when I started like doing it, making the memes like right away, my goal was to have 10,000 followers in 10 months. Only on Instagram. I didn't post anywhere else. I was only Instagram. I didn't really spend any time anywhere else besides Instagram back then. And like I literally like had this in my head, and I was like, I'm gonna do this. Like, this is what I'm gonna do. And after I had the 10K, I'm like, okay, now it's time to do some other stuff like a newsletter, podcast. And then I was thinking more serious about it. And then when I had like, I remember Tex Loke reached out to me to sponsor some stuff, and like Ryan's been kind of a mentor of mine. I'm like, dude, this could be done. And so,
So like in the start though, your
yeah,
vision was just let me post some funny memes, let me post jokes. Like your
yeah,
starting of this was like just pure comedy, like just for fun. Like
totally, just for fun. Literally, I had no idea that you could actually make money off of it. Like, I didn't even think. It was literally just me and my ADHD, like just posting content and like stupid
yeah.
content.
I mean, so
Like,
that's the thing. Like I personally think like Freight Caviar as a brand has moved sort of like in the past year, let's say like more towards a business approach and being
yeah,
helpful with newsletters. And I mean, you
yeah,
guys kind
yeah,
of stepped away from the being just a pure comedy brand. I mean,
yeah.
you guys have
I mean,
definitely moved towards a business model.
that's definitely a reflection also on my maturity level. Like, I just used to be like, when I started Freight Caviar, I was like so much more immature. Like back then, I don't know.
I mean, how old were you in 2021? I forget how old you are even.
I'm 30 right now, so I
You're
was
30, yeah.
yeah, I'm
Yeah, it's
gonna
like
turn 31
25,
in July.
26 when you started Freight Caviar.
In 2020, when I started it, November, it was like, what, I was 27. I was 27 when I started it.
Yeah, I mean, I'm 26 now. Like, I can imagine from 22 to 26, I changed a lot. I can only imagine from 26 to 30, I'll probably be a lot more serious with things too. So,
Yeah, totally. I mean, I changed a lot, so like, it's a reflection on me. Like a lot of the brand, like changing focus. It just because, like, honestly, like I'm not a. I used to be a big meme guy, and nowadays I'm not. Like, I'm more like about like, okay, like I like newsletters a lot. Like, that's my kind of thing, you know. I don't
yeah,
know, like trying to create like cool content in newsletter. But like, so that's that was okay. So like, let's just say January 2022 was when I actually like that was like when I fully like started doing it full time. But the funny thing about that is like a month later, I got an offer from a company to like be like head of marketing for them with like a nice salary, work from home, equity. Honestly, I was like, this sounds pretty awesome. Like, I think I'm gonna
yeah.
do it. So, like after a month of like doing it on my own, I ended up getting a job like for this company based out of California. And shout out to Warp, good guys, Troy and Daniel. but it just wasn't a great fit because I'm not like a marketer. I just like they thought like they could hire me and do like their marketing because like I do Freight Caviar.
Yeah, but you
But
did
it's
your
like
marketing on a project you had a personal passion for.
I
Like you
didn't
were
do. I don't think
passionate
I did
about it.
marketing. I was doing just stupid content. You know that people
Yeah, yeah,
like.
like you were
It's
just
like
doing you,
like
but you can't
yeah,
translate that into being like for a brand you don't know anything about.
100%,
It doesn't translate.
dude. 100%. It doesn't translate, and like I know after a few months we kind of figured that out, and so we kind of parted ways. But like it wasn't like any bad. Like it was just like completely mutual because we kind of understood that, and then like to like say like I went fully in on Freight Caviar. Like it was July 2022.
Yeah, I mean, how did you come up with the name? I already know the answer where we talked about it, but just how did
So
Freight Caviar happen? Yeah.
yeah, originally it was shipping pallets, and I'll just give I guess, a little bit background information on that. The reason why I was shipping pallets was because when I had left Everest and started my own brokerage, we had one customer who we took from Everest. Sorry about that, guys. But it was a guy that would like refurbish pallets. It was an Amish customer. Like literally, all they would do is they would buy used pallets and refurbish it. And so I just came up with shipping pallets. And some people would love the name shipping pallets. And then like in May of 2021, I was like, sorry, I was
So
let me see where
basically,
I'm at.
you were just doing the Amish customer, and you were just like shipping pallets. So this is what it's gonna be.
Yeah, look, it looks like I'm in Eastern Europe right now.
Yeah, it looks like you're in the slums, bro.
But so I was listening to the Rap Caviar playlist, like literally randomly,
Ah,
like
yeah, Spotify.
yeah, on Spotify, and literally like I was like, shit, I should be called Freight Caviar. And this was so random. It was literally just random. Like I was just driving, just like coming up with the whole like Instagram account was so random. Like this was just so random, like. And I called my good friend Tom. Shout out to Tom. He's also in Poland. Well, he's in the States now, but I was like, Tom, what do you think of like Freight Caviar? I was like, dude, like Paul, like I absolutely love that name. Like it completely
Yeah,
like exemplifies like what you're like about with the content and stuff like that. Because it's kind of like Eastern European, and caviar is like Eastern European. It's like
yeah.
And so like I literally within minutes I had the domain and I changed my Instagram and all that. The crazy thing about that is, dude, I changed my name to Freight Caviar and I put up like everyone was messaging me like, dude, like why'd you change your name to Freight Caviar? Like what the fuck's that? I'm sorry if I
Oh,
don't
you
know if I can
changed
swear.
shipping pallets to Freight Caviar, like the same account.
Yeah, and everyone's like messaging me like, why did you change that, dude? Like shipping pallets was such a better name. Like what the hell is Freight Caviar? Like what
Yeah,
is that?
but like, look, bro, like look where we're at now. Like we have look at the brand, bro. Like
I know,
we
but
got
like
the brand.
here's the thing, like I trusted
Like it
my gut,
doesn't
dude.
say shipping pallets on it,
Dude,
bro. Like,
there was nothing I was more confident about than that name of Freight Caviar. Like I wouldn't have changed it for anything in the world, right? Nothing.
yeah.
But like I was just curious from like what people thought, and I actually did a poll on Instagram, and I'm like, guys, which name do you prefer, Freight Caviar or Shipping Pallets? And we had 1,000 votes. 1,000 votes. Can you guess what it was? The results,
I say less than 30% was Freight Caviar.
dude. 20% exactly was Freight Caviar.
Yeah.
80% preferred shipping pallets, and it just goes to show.
And
that
you
people,
literally said, "I don't even care about my audience,
dude,
bro. I'm keeping it."
I don't. But here's the thing. You know what? It's also like whenever like Apple updates their product, everyone gets upset. And then it's like damn, just dog break. And then I feel like a few months like, damn, this actually is pretty good. Because like people don't like change for the most part.
I mean, the Freight Caviar brand is blown up, man. You guys are like one of the most recognizable media brands we have. I mean, you were here in the middle of nowhere, Serbia, in a bar, and some girl knew who you were from the Freight Caviar
Shout out to
logo.
Christina from HMD.
Like, I mean, that it's so recognizable. This and that. I mean, I know you got to go soon. Let's wrap this up. Do you want to talk about quickly like the CRM situation? Since I think when people think Freight Caviar, is that okay? Let's put it here. Is it a standalone thing? Your CRM like that hasn't like you don't want to connect that to Freight Caviar.
I mean, we do because like we created it for our audience. Like most of our audience are freight brokers.
Yeah, like just so I put this out there because not a lot of people that like know Freight Caviar know about this. Paul has a CRM. Like him and his partner are building a CRM. They have it. It's out there.
Yep.
Just because a lot of people know Freight Caviar just for the memes, bro.
Yeah.
So I mean,
100%.
I was kind of even I didn't know about the CRM until I met you. So
yeah. So like I mean, we're gearing up for launch here in a few weeks, but Essentially, it's more of a shipper database. We started off as a shipper CRM, as a freight broker CRM strictly, and then kind of evolved into being a database where like we have a database of shippers and we're like getting as much information on them as possible and putting them into like this nice map tool. So like if anyone wants to check it out, they could go to shippercrm.com and they could apply, or they could look at we have a presentation
So
about
you
it.
guys kind of shifted from being a proper typical CRM into more of like a leads tool, lead building tool.
Yeah, exactly. We also have a CRM. It's got simple functionalities. It's nice to use. It's great for smaller companies. But yeah, I mean, it's actually a really cool database. So if anyone wants,
I just wanted to put that out there because, like I said, not a lot of people when they think Freight Caviar think of that CRM, and I think it's like it's a business of yours. So
yeah, it's there's technically two companies. One company is Freight Caviar, the other company is Freight Caviar Technologies, and then the Freight Caviar Technologies has shipper CRM in it.
Yeah. So. And just while we wrap up, I know you got to go, man. Tell me, I mean, we're pressed for time. Your top 1, 2, 3 stories of Freight Caviar. What's your favorite? Is it the traveling? Is it the truck shows? Is it meeting people? What about Freight Caviar is your favorite? What's your favorite part about running the brand?
Dude, I'm still baffled that this is like my job, to be honest. It's kind of like I wake up and I'm like, wow, this is actually pretty cool. Like, I can't believe I actually like kind of created this. Like, this is like my brain like put this into like actual creation. I'm like, wow, this is kind of cool. I mean, that's definitely the coolest part about it. I'll just show you like this random like abandoned building right here. Look at that beautiful abandoned building. But besides that, I mean, for sure, like Serbia is definitely up there. Like that was sweet. The hospitality in Serbia was off the charts, man. I love that.
Dude, that trip, honestly, you coming out here, meeting you, like chilling with you, like Serbia is such a great country. We had such a warm welcome, like from all the companies, and just like the locals, man. We stopped the locals on the street. You're drinking with them, like on the side of the road. Like, I mean, Serbia is just such a welcoming country to tourists. Like we're like, I would say, if you ask me, 95% of this country is like just Serbian born and raised. And there's really not a lot of tourists. There's really not a lot of foreigners, and people are like they're just interested. They're like, "Oh, you guys are speaking English. You guys don't really like look like us." And, like people are just fascinated by tourists out here. They love them
for sure. Yeah, I mean, and I completely get that. Like it used to be like that in Poland years ago, and like it was like that in Ukraine. And I honestly like I know the feeling. It was nice. It was also like the people were great. I loved it. I mean, it was sweet. And besides that, I mean, what else is there? Like, I don't know. Like,
I mean, I think you guys really gotta keep that documentary. I can't wait for the Serbian one to drop. You did the Macedonia one. I love the traveling vlogs. I love those videos. Yeah. Like that's. I mean, what's like? What's the next 3 years of Freight Caviar look like to you? What's your vision? Is it the traveling? Like, what's up with it?
I think. Well, to be honest, I want to make the newsletter better. I want to make it like. And maybe that involves making it more fun. But a newsletter is like literally like I love like building a newsletter and like operating on it. And it's just nice because people get in their email inbox and it's a little bit different than like working out of algorithms. So besides that, it's just focusing on content, like having interesting content, having funny content, having good content, having a source. Like I want people to know like, oh, if they go to Freight Caviar, like they're going to get like good content and they'll get a good laugh, It's like a nice balance of everything. So that's kind of like the vision. It's just we need more of that, and we need to get the right people for that, and we just gotta keep building on that.
Just gotta keep pushing, man. Like you said, to make it more fun. Everyone that I know, everyone that loves Freight Caviar, we love the jokes, we love the memes, but at the same time, you guys have become more informational, and it's cool to follow you guys. Like you said, if you can find somehow that balance between being informational and being hilarious, if you can make that
be a good
work,
balance for sure.
Yeah,
and I
mean, the brand is just more memes. It's hilarious, bro. Like the brand is jokes. Like every Freight Caviar post slaps. It's always funny. Like,
yeah. Well, appreciate that, Alex. Thanks for having me on.
Thanks for joining me, bro. Like I appreciate your time. I know you got your meeting to get to. Just thanks, bro. Like we'll keep in touch.
Of course, definitely, no doubt. Thank you so much.
Take it easy, bro.
Take care. See ya.
Episode 2 of the podcast is now finished. Thank you, Paul. Shout out Freight Caviar. Shout out Derek, his cameraman. the Serbia documentary will be dropping in the next 1 to 3 weeks, hopefully. We shot a nice documentary together, showcasing kind of outsourcing and how it works out here. And I mean, just shout out Freight Caviar, man. Freight Caviar and Boris Panov is what got me into posting memes, what got me into LinkedIn. So, I mean, Paul has played a huge part unknowingly into bringing me into the logistics kind of online space. And same with Boris Panov. Huge shout out to him. Huge shout out to the community. We all love the jokes, but we're all here to work. And just shout out to everyone that watches this for all the support. And once again, shout out Freight Caviar.